It was a quiet Saturday afternoon in the park. The sun was soft, and the air smelled like blooming roses. Daniel was sitting on a bench, watching his little boy chase butterflies nearby, when he heard a small, trembling voice behind him. "Sir, could you pretend to be my daddy? Just for one day?" He turned around, confused at first. A little girl in a pink sweater sat in a wheelchair, clutching a blonde doll tightly to her chest. Her eyes were full of hope and something deeper, loneliness. Daniel's heart skipped a beat. "Hey everyone, welcome back to Kindness Lights, where we share real and inspiring stories about the power of compassion and connection. If stories like this touch your heart, please subscribe, like, and comment below to let us know how kindness has changed your life." Now, let's get into today's story. Daniel was a single father. Life hadn't been easy since his wife passed away 2 years earlier. He worked long hours as a mechanic, did his best to raise his 6-year-old son, Ben, and tried to keep their small world running smoothly. That day in the park was supposed to be simple, a little break, just father and son time. But fate had another plan. The little girl's name was Lily. She was about the same age as Ben. Her wheelchair was decorated with colorful stickers and a small bow tied to one of the handles. Daniel could tell she had spent a lot of time making it her own. "Pretend to be your daddy?" Daniel repeated gently, trying to understand. She nodded shyly. "Just for today. It's Daddy's Day at school tomorrow. Everyone has a dad to bring. I don't." Her voice cracked at the last word. Daniel's heart tightened. He didn't know what to say. Before he could respond, Ben ran up, holding a butterfly cupped in his hands. "Look, Dad. I caught one." Lily smiled. "You have a nice daddy," she whispered. Ben looked at her curiously. "Don't you have one?" Lily hesitated. "No. My mom says he's in heaven." There was silence for a moment, only the sound of birds filling the air. Daniel looked at her small face, her brave smile, and felt something stir deep inside him. "Lily," he said softly, "I'm sure your dad would be so proud of you." She looked down. "Maybe. But the teacher says if I can't bring someone, I can still make a picture of my dad. But I already did that last year." She took a deep breath and met his eyes. "That's why I asked you, sir. Just for one day. I don't want the other kids to feel sorry for me." Daniel felt his throat tighten. He looked at Ben, who nodded with childlike sincerity. "Dad, can she borrow you? Just for a day?" He smiled weakly. "I guess I don't have much of a choice, huh?" The next morning, Daniel ironed a shirt he hadn't worn in months. He dropped Ben off at his grandmother's house and drove to Lily's school. When he arrived, she was waiting by the front gate, her face lighting up as soon as she saw him. "You came," she squealed, waving excitedly. Daniel knelt beside her. "Of course I did. A promise is a promise." They spent the morning together at the school's Daddy's Day event. They built paper rockets, painted together, and played a silly trivia game where Lily knew all the answers. She introduced him to her classmates as "my dad, Mr. Daniel." Every time she said it, Daniel's chest ached, half from sadness, half from warmth. During lunch, while other dads chatted and laughed, Lily quietly unwrapped 2 sandwiches. "I made one for you," she said proudly. "Mom helped." Daniel smiled. "That's the best sandwich I've had in years." He wasn't lying. Later, as the day came to an end, the teacher asked the kids to share something special about their dads. When it was Lily's turn, she looked at Daniel and said softly, "My daddy is kind. He listens. And even though I just met him, he makes me feel safe." Daniel felt his eyes sting. Around the room, a few other parents glanced over with knowing smiles. After the event, Lily's mother came up, wiping tears from her eyes. "You didn't have to do all that," she said. "But thank you." She hasn't stopped smiling since yesterday. Daniel shook his head. "Thank me? No. Thank her. She reminded me what being a dad really means." That night, after tucking Ben into bed, Daniel sat on the couch, replaying the day in his mind. He realized how much one small act of kindness could change someone's world, not just Lily's, but his too. The next weekend, he and Ben invited Lily and her mom to the park. They fed ducks, played games, and shared ice cream. What began as a favor turned into a friendship that warmed both families. Months passed, and their connection only grew stronger. Daniel would sometimes fix Lily's wheelchair when it squeaked, while her mom would bring homemade meals when Daniel had late shifts. The two families slowly became one another's support system, proof that family isn't always about blood, but about love freely given. One spring afternoon, Daniel received a small card in the mail. It was from Lily. It read, "Dear Mr. Daniel, thank you for pretending to be my daddy that day. But you don't have to pretend anymore. Because now, you're like my real one. Love, Lily." Daniel held the card close, his eyes blurring with tears. It wasn't just a message, it was a reminder of the power of saying yes when kindness calls. Kindness doesn't always require grand gestures. Sometimes, it's as simple as showing up for someone who needs to feel seen, even if only for a day. Daniel didn't plan to change anyone's life that day in the park, but by saying yes to a little girl's simple, heartfelt request, he found healing for his own heart too. So the next time life gives you a chance to be kind, take it. You never know whose story you might help rewrite, or how much it might rewrite yours. Thank you for watching today's story on kindness lights. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe, like, and share it with someone who believes in the power of kindness, because at the end of the day, kindness costs nothing, but it can mean everything.